Rams Nation, we got not one, but two mock drafts to show you here today. We got the first one on the screen, and Mike Williams is going to be breaking it down for you here today. And then we got the lifelong Rams fan himself, Soup, in the house with us here today. And we're going to talk about his mock draft next. You guys are fans. I'm going to need a little something from y'all. And for you guys to go down below and comment who has the better mock draft. Let's have some debates. Let's have some arguments. Let's get into it. And be sure to follow all of our social media stuff on the screen and always hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead. Let's start the mock draft. Mike Williams, man, take us away. Number 23.
Yeah, man. So the Rams have a few, again, in my opinion, have a few different needs. And I think this overall does a good job of hitting the key areas they need. Troy Fatanu is starting tackle at Washington, but he's projected to be a guard in the NFL. Realistically, he would be the top guard in the draft. He just doesn't have the length he needs to play or a tackle in the NFL, but real powerful dude, real agile. He's somebody that can come in aside from Steve Avila, the opposite guard, and they have the interior of their line taken care of for a long period of time. And then no, we did not forget about tackle slot. We know that is something that they definitely need to take care of. So Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, absolute stud. One of my favorite tackles in the entire draft, honestly. Straight beast. This guy, I think, would fit in. And again, they don't have to worry about whatever side he can play, left or right. They wouldn't
He's
have to
going
worry.
left.
Yeah, he would go left with the Rams. But wherever you put him, you know that side's going to be taken care of for 10 years plus, and you're in a good situation. And then with Max Melton from Rutgers, again, Rutgers isn't known as like this quote unquote football powerhouse or whatever, but they generally put out some solid, real rugged football players. Max Melton is a long corner. He's 6 foot tall. He's about 190. He's physical and would play well in that defense. Very versatile with a lot of things they like to do in that defense. Tyke Smith at safety is a rangy defender. You know, he's not the fastest safety on earth. You don't need a safety to run a 4.3, but you need a safety that can stop the run, come up and stop the run. He can absolutely do that. One of the hardest hitting safeties in this draft. And he's a guy that putting him zone coverage over the top of a corner, he'll help limit that. And, you know, Georgia puts out nothing but athletes. Jack Sawyer would be a steal, in my opinion, this late in the draft. It just happened to be how he fell. But 6'5", 250, real long, powerful edge rusher that I think something the Rams have done. Soup can speak to this, is they've drafted some linebackers late that have just came in and overperformed. And I think he would be the next guy in that line and somebody that could turn into a starter. And then Ladarius Henderson, if you're at he's small, quote unquote, for Michigan, because Michigan's tackles, generally speaking, are going to be, you know, 6'6", 6'7". He's 6'5", Doug. So I mean, he's definitely not small. He's small for Michigan, but he's a guy that can come in, be a swing tackle. He can play guard because he's played guard in college. He's played tackle in college, and that's someone that they can develop again as a swing tackle, or that can eventually take over one of those tackle spots. And literally, this would fix their offensive line. It would fix their defensive problems they have. Doesn't add a lot of new weapons. I usually like to give teams weapons, but it fixes the most immediate needs, in my opinion.
I love it, man. That's a nice breakdown. Guys, comment below if you like that mock draft. That's Mike Williams. He has the first mock draft scenario. Now we're moving on to Soup. Now, if you guys don't know, if you haven't watched the show before, Soup is a lifelong Rams fan, and I'm excited to see what you got, my man. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Let's get it. Boom.
All right, man. So once again, there's no trades in this one. I also want to. We should have prefaced this at the top of the show, guys. We are aware that draft order is still subject to change. That compensatory picks are not in, and not everybody that you see here has declared for the draft officially. There's a lot that's going to change. So that in mind, this is what I came up with. First things first is I went with the edge out of Florida State, Jarrett Verse, which I think at the 23rd overall pick would be an absolute steal. Once again, they even say at 6'4" that they would consider him not long enough. They want somebody 6'5", 6'6". But if there's one thing that the Rams know how to do is take undersized defensive players and make them work in their system. What I like about him is how ferocious he is and how he gets after the quarterback. And the Rams severely are lacking a pass rush outside of Aaron Donald. Byron Young has come along and is developing well. But, you know, the front works with the back, people. And so we need a pass rush from both sides. We need that pressure in the interior. I think Aaron Donald's rolling back at least another year. Kobe Turner, the conductor, your defensive rookie of the year. I don't care what anybody says. He's looking like he's made in a similar mold of Aaron Donald. So we've got that middle of the field, but this would very much help take some of the pressure off of that secondary that's been getting just destroyed with big plays over the top by putting some extra pressure on the corner, on the quarterback. At the next pick, Max Melton. Same reason why Mike was talking about he took him in his draft. The same reason I took him in mine. Yes, Rutgers isn't a sexy school for corners, and they're not known like this. But I like that Max Melton. He's rangy. He's athletic. He's got a few picks this year. Fun fact about the Rams secondary for their corner room: Ahkello Witherspoon is the only corner over 6 foot in that room. Rams have historically over the last couple years only drafted small corners, 5'10", 5'11". We seem to like him that size. The only person that used to be taller than 6 foot on our roster is Jalen Ramsey. He's now on Doug's Dolphins, and I miss him every day. But Max Melton would give us some much needed length, especially if we're unable to bring back Ahkello Witherspoon on a very team-friendly deal. And then Josh Simmons, Ohio State. Here's the thing. I don't like Ohio State. I never liked Ohio State, and I'm not going to start liking Ohio State. But I do like when they put on NFL colors for the Rams. Josh Simmons is going to give us what we need. He can play a swing tackle, but he's priority at left tackle. And even though Alaric Jackson, who's undrafted free agent, has been more than serviceable for us this year, this would help shore up the left tackle side. I think he could come in and he would instantly compete for the starting position over Alaric Jackson. Once again, this is not an indictment on Alaric, but I think if there's an upgrade to be made, it could be made here. That being said, he could swing to right with Big Rob Havenstein. Him and Aaron Donald are the last surviving members of the St. Louis Rams that are rostered to this team. Havenstein is at the end of his career. And even though I like Big Rob, love Big Rob, he struggles against a speed rush, and that is not an issue for Josh Simmons. So I could see him competing over there. Like I said, if nothing else, he's going to give us some depth and somebody that we could start in the future. Then I went down to Nebraska, man. I say there's a lot of Big Ten in here. I went with Luke Reimer from Nebraska, and if you guys are watching our series, you probably heard his name come up during the Broncos draft. I love Luke Reimer. I don't think that he's a day one starter, but I think he could be a great support interior linebacker, and I think he would fit really well next to Ernest Jones in this defense, because right now Ernest Jones is being helped by Christian Rosenboom, and unless you're a Rams fan, you don't know who Christian Rosenboom is, and Troy Reeder, Super Bowl champion Troy Reeder, I should say. But those are not household names, and they're not household names for a reason. Those are guys that are playing well above their skill level. Luke Reimer just set I think the single season tackling record for Nebraska this year. So he's a tackling machine, which is something that we need to help shore up that run defense. And I think he's going to help Ernest Jones patrol the middle of the field. Ernest is going to take him under his wing and make him into a true pro. And then Jack Sawyer, you guys saw him in Mike's draft. He failed to me too at 150. This is the dream. Didn't get the result that they wanted in the Cotton Bowl. Yay for that. I'm excited that they lost. But, man, Jack Sawyer had the best performance of the day. He recorded 3 sacks in the Cotton Bowl in a losing effort. It's another undersized edge, but this just gives us one rotational ability. He's going to create competition at those edge spots. And this is a guy that, hey, if you can't start year 1, year 2, I'm expecting you to come in and contribute and compete, and we can get rotational pieces. He could go on either side. Very stout in the run game, but this guy's an absolute headhunter. And then with my final pick of the draft, I'm going to go get us a weapon because I like Cooper Kupp. Love Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper's maybe had one healthy season his entire career. That happened to be Triple Crown Super Bowl MVP winning season. And we got a surprise with Puka Nacua this year. We hope. And I'm not saying that this is who Puka Nacua is or isn't. I'm just saying we've all had a player that flashes in year 1, that year 2 shows us who they really are. I tend to think that this is who Puka really is. But Brendan Rice, it's just a gut punch to the San Francisco 49ers that one of their legends' kids is playing on our team, and there's something very delicious about that. But 2, This is a long receiver. I think Brendan is 6'3".
Yes.
So he has some length that we have not seen in our receiver room for quite some time. Not quite as physical as what we've seen with Rams receivers. That's why I think if he falls down into the 7th, right, this is somebody that's going to have to work his way into the rotation in this offense, especially with the way that Sean McVay likes to utilize his receivers for that 11 personnel. If you're going to be a receiver on this offense, you're going to have to block. And I think with his length, he can double as a tight end. We will never play him as a tight end, but it'll be nice to have it's 11 personnel, but technically it's 12 personnel with that 2 tight end set because Brendan Rice's size. So he's going to give Matt Stafford a big target in the red zone, big targets on 3rd down. And like I said, he's top end speed isn't great, but he's got a nice stride to him. So when he catches that ball, he's faster than you think. And he can get by you. So I think that could be a project he could develop into a pretty solid NFL receiver. And my thing is, shoot, if he's 50 to 60% of what his father is, that's a win in my book.
Oh yeah.
Man, 2, not 1, but 2. I can't call it. Folks, go down below in the comment section. On the way down, you'll see a subscribe button. So smash that. And then comment below who had the better mock draft. Was it Soup or was it Michael Williams? Soup or Michael Williams? Those are your options tonight, man. So I hope everybody has a beautiful 2024. Happy New Year. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Comment below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith. Thanks for watching another episode of the Touchdown with Doug Smith, where I cover all 32 NFL teams plus NFL exclusive interviews. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for the alerts, comment below, and we'll catch you next time on the Touchdown with Doug Smith.